All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are excited to be here with you. We have the one, the only Emily Paulson today on this call. She is an amazing RFX Circle Achiever, Lexus Achiever. She actually was, I believe, #3 in the entire world on Amnon's recruiting challenge in the month of August, which is, a major reason why we asked her to jump on here today. Recruiting is going to be one of the biggest things that you're going to be able to do to really rock things out in your business and really make your business grow. So we're definitely excited to have you on the call today. Emily, are you able to jump on really quick?
I am here.
All right, fantastic. Well, we're going to kick things off really quick, everybody, with a Q&A between Emily and I, and then we're going to jump over to our National Director, Sam Higginson. Sam's also a wealth of knowledge. He's just an amazing guy. He's been in this industry for a long time and definitely knows what he's doing. So we're super excited to have you on, Emily. And I'm going to start off with the softball question for you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started with Rodan Fields?
So really it was kind of the same story as a lot of people. I saw something on Facebook and I had a few people who were consultants. At the time, I didn't really know what that meant. I knew it was something with skincare. I saw some cool before and afters. The timing, I just couldn't wrap my brain around really what it was. Never took the time to reach out. But I did, have some interest in maybe what it was. Marissa McDonough reached out to me, and I ignored her. We always joke because I still ended up on her team anyway, and so it worked out the way it was meant to, but she gives me crap about it all the time. And then Michelle Hott, who I went to high school with, also reached out to me, and I also ignored her, but she followed up with me. And when the timing was right, she was there. She was the one who continued to follow up with me. So we met up, and she was very low pressure. She just shared with me what the business had done for her, and she just painted the picture for me, really, how this fit into her life and how this could fit into mine without saying, "Wow, you should do this. Why aren't you doing this? Here are the business kits." It was very much just what was in it for me. She showed me all the products that would work for my skin. And so, I just decided really after meeting with her, I for sure think this is a great company. I really want to use these products. But because she had told me everything else, I was really at the time looking for more. I had 5 really small kids at home, and I really just wanted something for myself. So when I did go to place my order for those amazing products, I remembered everything she said and that picture that she painted. And honestly, I just took a chance. I didn't think too much about it. And when I signed up, I was coachable and consistent, and I really just ran with ignorance. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I really liked what I saw. I liked the results that I started to get, and I didn't waste time trying to know everything or anything, really. I just talked to everyone who would listen, and I think that's been to my advantage because people that I talked to realized they could do something like this without any training or background in skincare either. So that's kind of how I got my start, and I guess the rest is history.
I absolutely love that. So I'm going to circle back on a few different things that are golden. If for all of you who are listening right now, she rejected a lot of people, including the person that invited her to, she ultimately signed up with, right? So let that be a lesson to you that, you just got to keep following up. When they say the fortune is in the follow-up, it totally is, right, Emily? I mean, honestly, that's a big deal for sure. So just continuing to follow up with people, I think that's huge. Another thing that you said, honestly, Emily, that I think is a big deal too, that I think a lot of people here could maybe relate with, and that is that you said you didn't waste a lot of time trying to know everything first. You just jumped right into things, and you just got going regardless of not knowing all of the answers. I'll tell you, I'm one of those type of people that have a hard time doing that. I feel like I need to know everything before I start. So I would just challenge you, everyone who's listening, be like Emily in terms of just jump into it with both feet, and don't worry about knowing all the answers, because you're never going to know all the answers. I mean, Emily, do you know all the answers right now?
No, I still get questions. I mean, I got questions today that I'm like, I need to go check. I mean, we always have, again, we have new things launching all the time, new programs changing, the business kept changing. I constantly have to go find things out. And yeah, if I waited to know everything, I would still be waiting.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you wait till everything's perfect, you're going to be waiting a long time, right? To my knowledge, there's only ever been one person on this earth that's been perfect, and it sure as heck ain't me, right? Emily, I love that. Okay, next question. So, what does a day in the life of Emily Paulson look like for you?
So every single day is different. I probably couldn't tell you what one day looks like because they are all different. I'm very busy. I've had to change the way I work this business throughout the years. When I started out, only 2 of my kids were in school full time, so it was a lot of nap time and nighttime. And now all of my kids are in school during the day, so it's a lot during the school day. So it's changed a little bit over the years. I've got 5 really busy kids. I've got a husband that travels, but we all have our busy. We all have things going on. But I always make my priorities a priority. And Rodan Fields is a priority. So I keep it very, very simple. And so I tell myself every day, like, no matter how this day goes, I can have the day perfectly planned out. But if the wheels completely fall off the bus, the very minimum bare bones activity I do is I make it non-negotiable, not just a goal, but just non-negotiable that I talk to one new person about Rodan Fields every single day. One person. That's like super, I keep it super simple. So, if just one blanket statement, if I have to give, if you're struggling with that, being too busy, figure out what you need to do just to do that. And it may be as simple as chatting with someone while I'm waiting for the kids at pickup or waiting for my workout class to start, whatever, introducing myself. How is their day going? What do they do for a living? Maybe they ask what I do. Bam, I run a skincare business. Have you heard of Rodan Fields? Yes, no, maybe, not sure. It doesn't matter. So maybe that I meet that person, I add them on Facebook, or I run into him the next day. Really, it's just building a relationship and bringing it into one conversation a day. That's the minimum I do. So that's just non-negotiable for me every day. So as far as like the day-to-day, like today, I got up, got the kids ready, made lunches, took them to school, went back home. I got some stuff that my daughter forgot, went back to school, went to the gym. And again, while I waited for my class to start, that's when I opened my phone. And that's kind of a boundary that I set, that I don't open my phone until after my kids are dropped off at school. So then I quickly delete junk mail. I star things that are important that I can get back to later. Worked out, came home, did a few things on my team page, did an Instagram post. I called a couple of prospects, both I left messages. And then I am sending out a ton of messages following up with people about all the stuff we learned at convention, all the new products, everything, the travel regimens right now. So a lot of follow-ups. I did a 3-way call while I folded my laundry with one of my downlines. Picked up a couple kids at school, brought them home, started homework.
Okay.
Took the kids to soccer. I mean, you get what I'm saying here. Like,
yeah. So I mean, like, but just to like clarify for everybody that's listening, it's 5 kids,
yeah.
right? 5 kids, and she's a RFX Circle Achiever, Alexis Achiever, number 3 in the Amnon Challenge, and she said something that's crucial. There's actually an acronym behind what you were saying, Emily, and that's KISS. Keep it super simple, right? In your business, just keep it super simple. And you got to put first things first, just like Emily was saying. That's so money. I mean, that's money in the bank right there, Emily, what you're telling these people. Just keep it super simple. And I love how the first thing you said is just building relationships on a daily basis is your number one non-negotiable behavior, right? I think that's just perfect. So for all of you out there, I challenge you as well to pick a number. Is it just one person a day? Is it 2 people a day? Like, you pick that number and you make that your non-negotiable in terms of building a new relationship, right, with other people. I love that. Okay, so let's get move on here to the next one. So what's your biggest recruiting pipeline And then, or what are your biggest recruiting pipelines? It could be plural, right? And then how do you keep them full? How do you keep them moving?
So, honestly, I mean, my biggest pipeline is just, again, meeting new people. I think the biggest thing is no matter what you're doing in your life, like take this with you. So it's, add it to the things that you're already doing. Again, if you have kids and you're going to all these different things, there's all these different people with skin that you can talk to. And these are people you're adding to your pipeline. So, when you start, you go through your memory jogger, you list all the people you talk to all those people. But the biggest thing and the best thing to do to keep your funnel flowing is you always are adding to it, always adding new people. Because if you're circling around to the same 10 people, you're just wasting time. Like those people, a few might join, maybe they'll all join, but it's, don't hold up networking and adding people to your funnel while you do that. Because what if they do all sign up tomorrow? You're going to have an empty funnel. What if they don't? I mean, you have to keep consistently adding. So I would say networking is really the biggest thing. And it's just as simple as talking to people and bringing this up in conversations.
I love it. So I'm gonna dive a little deeper in terms of the funnel system. So you'd mentioned talking to people in person. You also mentioned social media, how you post on Instagram. What is your biggest pipeline to connect with people on social media? What do you prefer to use most?
I think it's changed. I think it's like social media landscape's always changing. I mean, Instagram wasn't something that I really used a lot for business as of a year ago, but I noticed that, it's been more up and coming and it's more popular now. And so I've kind of, started to develop that more. People are really into stories and, I had to figure out what the heck that meant. But I think it's just kind of being aware of that the landscape is changing. And, at first when I started my business 4.5 years ago, Facebook was huge. I got a lot of business from Facebook, just connecting with people. But it's, with any social media, it's really just a tool, again, to connect with people. Putting out a Facebook post here and there, well, those are great. The before and afters are great. And that would maybe catch someone's eye who you're already talking to. That's not going to be what builds your business. So it's all about using social media to build relationships, to connect with people. Even if it's, if you're in like a buy-seller trade group and you interact with somebody, I mean, I'll use this example specifically. I sold a crib to somebody, and she asked me about my car and where I got the car. And I was like, oh, it's through my company, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up giving her samples, checked in with her. We became friends on Facebook. So that was a connection we built. She became a PC just randomly. So it's really just kind of using those to your advantage. And again, it's all about building relationships. Look at Instagram, look at who's liking your Instagram posts, and just see how you can build relationships through that. So it's just it's a tool, really.
I think that what you're saying is so incredibly important in terms of how to use social media and why we're using it. It's a major tool, right, to build your business. But I think sometimes one of the pitfalls that we fall into is we feel like we need to use it to sell, right? Or we need to use it to make money, right? But if we ultimately remember that we're using it to form relationships, and as we form relationships, then we recruit, and then we find PCs, and then we do all these other things. But ultimately, it's really forming an authentic, true, real relationship. It's important. I think that's a big deal. I love it. Okay, so what recruiting advice would you give to your younger self if you had the chance to do that?
I would say, and I've always been pretty good about not really caring what other people think, but I would say I would stop caring a lot sooner. I had a really fast start, but it took me a while. So I was comfortable with my warm market. I was comfortable with my close friends. I was comfortable with, the people my kids went to school with, their parents and stuff like that. But the chicken list, right? The people who I knew who could be amazing at this and who had a huge reason to do this, I was afraid to reach out to them because I didn't feel like I was successful enough yet. But I would go back and do that first. I would start there. And I would not be afraid of no. I didn't really care that much at first, like if people said no to me. So I think, I just got more used to it. But I have to say, if you look around and you think someone's building a bigger business than you, how does she have so many customers? How does she have so many consultants? I promise you, it's because she's talking to more people and she's heard the word no more. I guarantee it. I mean, I've lost count of the people who've said no to me, and many of those ended up then still purchasing from me or joining my team later. That was really a not right now. So I would tell myself, like, make it your personal mission to get shot down as much as possible, because that's when all the yeses start to come in. And then with that practice, you will eventually not care who says no to you. It just becomes part of the business. You really need to make yourself immune, kind of hearing it over and over. And I get it. You don't want to be judged. You don't want people to think you're bugging them, but you really got to just get over it. If people don't understand it, if they want to judge you, they don't understand this business, and that's really their problem. And my favorite quote, and I actually posted this today, that Rachel Hollis said when we were at convention was, in the age of so much information, ignorance is a choice. So move on. Find people like you who want to learn about this. They're out there. And I would also say that I would go back and, again, I would probably lead more with the business at first. I think at first I led more with the product, and then once I realized how much I love this business and I really started to believe in it, why wouldn't I lead with the business? So I didn't really start that way. And I think it's really, really important. I see people posting right now, like the Radiant Defense launching October 1st. And my mindset now, that might've been what I posted when I first started. And now my mindset is like, no, it's launching now. Like if you join today, you can get it now in your business kit. So I just make that the bar that I set now. Like that's what I'm interested. That's what everybody's interested in. And then if they're not, then you default to the products. Like PCs should be a side effect of leading with the business, truly. Yes. So that would be my advice.
I'm like, it's total mic drop moment right there. I'm like, yes, perfect. I mean, if there's just one thing that you got from this call, everyone, from what Emily's been throwing at you, I mean, that's just amazing. Like, first of all, Rachel Hollis, we can all agree, just tore it up, right? She just did an amazing job. For those of you who weren't able to see it in person, get onto the virtual and watch it, right? One of the things she said that's kind of just basically paralleling what you said as well, Emily, is that our success is built on a mountain of failure, right? When we become successful, it's because we're elevated through all of the different failures that we had in our life, right? And the other thing that she said that I love, and I think that goes exactly along with what you're saying right now, is that don't be selfish with this opportunity, right? Don't just be like, oh, Tiffany would never be interested in this, right? You don't know what Tiffany's going to say. Like maybe this is exactly what Tiffany needs in her life right now. And you're being selfish with the opportunity, right? And as you're confident with what you're doing, other people will join you. But anyway, I love it, Emily. This is golden right now. Okay, so this one's going to be, I think, you've had to figure this out to a certain degree. I think this will be helpful for everybody that's on the call, just being a mother of 5, right? What would you say to all those other busy consultants out there who just have, who have tight schedules? What would be some time management tips that you would offer to them?
Well, again, I think it does come back to a priority, right? And I think there was some graphic I saw today where, I think 70% of consultants have a full-time job outside of RNF. So, I consider having 5 kids a full-time job, but if you go to a place of employment and you clock in and you clock out, that you have to be accountable to your boss, right? So it's more about just being accountable to yourself. So I feel like it's a lot less about time management than just about, making excuses. You have time, you're just probably not managing it well. Real Housewives of Orange County is not going to do anything for your future. And, scrolling Facebook and stopping at every cute kitten video is not going to build your bottom line. So, I would say stop using your job, stop using your family, stop using whatever as an excuse to not do this. Instead of, and find a reason why you need to. And, it sounds crazy, but like, you need to make it as if, it's like life or death. That sounds silly, but you hear a lot of stories about people in this business who like had $40 in their bank account and now they make like 6 figures monthly, right? But it's because they had absolutely nothing to lose and they had to make this work. I'm serious. Honest to God, when I started, I wanted to make enough to have a house cleaner twice a week. And that sounds super self-indulgent, but we have a lot of kids and cleanliness and clutter are like my trigger. Like a clean house like makes me feel so much better. And I wanted to free up my time to do, spend time with people I love, to do more of this. And so I figured out how much I needed to make that happen. And that was literally my mission. Like, this has to happen. True story. I got there and, it did free up time. And then I made it my next mission, to do the next thing. And eventually we made it a mission for me to make enough that we could afford to have an au pair, a nanny that lives with us. Because again, we have 5 kids and there's a lot of driving and my husband travels, and just to like relieve the stress a little bit, and the driving and the homework, the laundry. I mean, there's one of me and there's 5 of them. It's so many. So I figured out how much I needed for that. And again, then I made that my mission. Seriously, I just made it not optional. I had one of my consultants say to me yesterday, there's something not covered by insurance that she, wants to pay for. And, it's like $1,000 and I just don't have that right now. And I was like, okay, let's figure out how we can do that. We have this fast start bonus now. Enroll 5 people, like done, like make it a requirement. I need to do this, because if it's optional, you probably won't, and if it's optional, this is a hobby, you won't make it happen. So you need to clock yourself in and be accountable to yourself. And that's hard. So, I've always said over and over, set operating hours, stick to them, make your business a priority, figure out when you're working, figure out when you're not working, talk to someone about RNF every day, lead with the business, and figure out where you're spending your time. Write down your priorities, look where you're spending your time. And if those don't match up, you got to make some changes. You got to let some things go. I don't watch a lot of TV. Some days there are other things that have to go. Today, lucky you guys, I didn't get to take a shower. So this is what you get. There's just, you have to, it's just choices. It's priorities. There's some things you got to let go sometimes. So again, it's just about figuring out what your priorities are, figuring out what your why is, and make it non-negotiable. Add to your network, become obsessed with building the business and bettering your life, and letting your excuses go. And stop caring so much what people think about you.
I think this is totally 100% amazing. First of all, one of my favorite quotes is, don't say you don't have time, just say it's not a priority, right? Mm-hmm. Because we all have the same amount of time in the day. Yet Emily here with 5 kids has created this amazing business, right? And everyone can too if you put first things first, right? You make those things a priority that you need to do, right? Relationship forming, inviting, following up, all those things that are going to fill your funnel. That's going to help you really get people on your team and your business growing. Make those a priority. And one of the things that Emily just said as well, that I loved, Emily, is set your business hours. When are you going to work? When are you not going to work? And I think one of the coolest things that I've seen that also is a great time management tip as well is break it up. Say I'm going to spend 2 hours, and write down what you're going to do during those 2 hours. Budget your time like you'd budget your money, right? And then set a kitchen timer and just be like, okay, it's inviting time, 15 minutes, boom, let's go, right? So I think those are awesome tips. One of the other things too, I think that you said that I wanted to circle back to, Emily, is you'd mentioned going to work out, right? And this is also kind of a Rachel Hollis thing. She talked a little bit about how important it is to take care of yourself, right? So what are some of those things that you would recommend to everyone listening to make sure that they're in the best personal spot for them to be able to grow?
I think that really goes back to, again, making your priorities. Write down what are the top 10 important things to you, and then sitting down with your calendar and literally finding time for those things. And I think with the hours of operation, it's so much more important to say when you're not working than when you are. What are the most important things? And for me, it's, the family time. Again, in the morning with my kids, I don't have a phone. I'm totally unplugged, and it's just about them. If they have ballet recitals or soccer games or anything like that, that's blocked off. And then I fill, anything that fills my soul or that I need. Again, my exercise classes, date nights with my husband, whatever it is that you literally need to function and that's a priority to you goes in. And then your work time goes around that. At least, that's what I do. That's kind of where my priorities stack up, me and my family and RNF. So it's just a matter of fitting it around. And, again, make sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure you're drinking enough water and taking care of yourself. You have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can put it on everybody else.
Absolutely. I 100% love all of that. But we have reached the speed round of this Q&A here. And this is something I didn't tell Emily about at all. So Emily, I'm going to ask you, pick a number between 1 and 5.
5.
All right. So what is your favorite musical group of all time? That's number 5.
God, that's really hard. Of all time? I might have to say Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam? Pearl Jam's that's an awesome one. Okay. Pick another number between 1 and 5.
Okay, it can't be the same number. 4.
Okay, let's see here. All right, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
New Zealand.
Yes, that's an awesome answer. What do you love about New Zealand?
I don't know. I've never been there. I think it looks cool, and I like koalas. I don't have any other better reason than that.
Nice, love it. I love it. That's so great. Well, Emily, we want to thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your wisdom with everybody in the group. Honestly, I just wish that I'd had a bigger Zoom. We capped out our Zoom, so we'll make sure to share this with everybody. For those of you who are listening, I guess the best way to do it is just message me and say, hey, my team couldn't get in, and I'll share the link to see the recording so you can share it with your team. So Emily, thank you so much for jumping on with us. We so appreciate you. Your knowledge was amazing. It was so great to have you on here today. So thanks for jumping on. Sam Higginson, are you there?
I am.
All right, Sam. Well, Sam is our national director of the West. He's just an incredible person. He's actually one of the major reasons why I decided to join Rodan Fields. So he's a great guy. And Sam, I'm going to turn the time over to you to close out this call for us today.
All right. Thanks so much, Joe. And I'm going to get to you in a minute, but I first want to say thank you to Emily. When you came to me with this idea and said, hey, look, we're running this, incentive, and you got to, these are the qualifications, you got to enroll 2, you have to pick one RFXer in all of the Western United States to be on this call with us. And, Emily was really an easy choice for me because for a number of reasons, she was somebody that when I started here at Rodan Fields, she was one of the first leaders that I really kind of gleamed onto, and we just started kind of learning together, and we kind of stretched together all different kind. I mean, we did an incredible thing up there in Seattle, and Emily had a huge part in making that market one of the fastest growing and most exciting markets that we have in all of the United States. All eyes have been on Seattle for quite some time, and she was a big reason for that. But the fact that she's a USC fan, and now I find out that Pearl Jam is her favorite band, I am so happy that I chose her tonight, because Pearl Jam is definitely the band that I would have chose for sure. But listen, Emily, fantastic job. And the fact that you came in number 2 in the United States in Amnon's challenge, number 3 in the entire world, and considering that we have a brand, kind of a newer market, That's pretty cool to think about. You know, you did an incredible job being in a leadership position, being an influencer that you are. I'm really excited that I had the chance to share this opportunity tonight with you. And to Joe and Ricky, fantastic job of putting all of this together. Joe, thanks for hosting tonight. I am so excited about the Western United States and where it's headed. And the two regional managers that are kind of running the show right now, and Joe Cardon and Ricky Salvage, are both just absolutely amazing. And I'm going to get to how to connect with them a little bit later. But I want to start off really quick by just saying, you know, there are a lot of incredible things going on at Rodan Fields right now. I think that many of you were probably at convention recently. And if you were at convention, I mean, for those of you that I can see, which is one screen, I don't know how many are on this. I think 100 is what I'm hearing based on the chat. We're maxed out. But raise your hand if you were at convention and really enjoyed it. You know, I mean, it was, from all accounts, like everybody that I've talked to have said that this was the best convention that they've been a part of. And I've talked to multiple leaders who've been around for, 6-7 years, and they've said, hey, look, it continues to get better and better. And shame on me for not being more prepared. And that's really why I was so excited about tonight's call, because the fact of the matter is, I believe this group, those of you that qualified to be on this call, you were prepared for what came last week in New Orleans. You did the work. You actually got out in front of your team, and you showed that you could actually get after it and do something and achieve. And I'm so proud of each and every one of you for being able to do that. A couple of things that I wanted to take the opportunity to share tonight. I have been, since being in the national role, there's a lot of admin, and what I'm finding out is my backdrop sucks. It's really bad, and that's typical of having a lot of administration type meetings at the home office. I need to spice this up so that I can continue to do calls like this with the leaders, because the truth is, I love being involved and getting down into the trenches and being as close to the fire as I possibly can. And we heard that at the leadership summit this last weekend. We heard that if you really want to know what's going on with your business, and she was talking to leaders. And her name has skipped my brain right now. So it was one of the best speeches I've ever heard in my life from a leader. But so Joe, if you can help out. What?
Was it Katie Wood?
Yeah, Katie Wood. Thank you. I just could not remember it in the heat of the moment right now. But Katie Wood made a comment that if you really want to understand your business, you need to get close to the fire. You need to get really down in there and do the work. And that's exactly what Emily did here. She's an RFX leader, and certainly, not all RFX leaders. There's a lot of them who are on this call tonight, some that couldn't get on. One, Panda Corman, texted me and said, hey, I'm in the OR. Should I jump out and get on this call? And I said, no, we've got it recorded. Stay in there. I think they need you more. But the truth is, you got to stay close to the fire. You really got to understand what's going on inside of your business. And the only way to do that is to get down in the trenches and do the work with the people. And what I loved about that is in my role as a national, we have all these admin meetings going on. And one of my very favorite this week has been with Diane Dietz. She reached out and she said, hey, I heard a message this weekend at Leadership Summit from Katie Wood. And she said, that we really needed to talk to the people who are closest to fire. And that's you. And I really want to, have a conversation with you and with Joe and Ricky. And I want, Buck, I want these people that are part of the field regional team. I want to have a meeting with you. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I will tell you that, right now, the biggest thing that we are focused on is filling those funnels and preparing our leaders for the great moments that are to come. And I will tell you that as long as I've been in this channel, which is now, this last week was my 19th convention. I've been in this channel for a long time, and never before have I been as excited as I am now. There's a lot of really incredible things coming. Just in a couple of weeks, actually, I think it was yesterday, we announced the More Tour. And in a few weeks, we're going to be hitting a lot of really important markets. We're going to be out there kind of taking a piece of convention to all of your prospects. So I will tell you, for those of you that are close to San Francisco, for those of you that are close to Los Angeles or any other market that is hosting a More Tour, I would find a way to get your people there, if not yourself, because this is going to be a chance for them, your prospects, to see a little bit of how incredible convention was. We're going to bring a lot of those same things from the expo to that event. We're going to bring a lot of the same types of messages. I think if you could sit back and think, okay, was I ready for this convention? I think that for a lot of you, your businesses were ready. You guys were in the right kind of frame of mind. You were doing the work, you were engaged, and you were able to qualify for a call like this. I think that you were probably ready. But one of the things that I hope to share with you tonight is how you can help your teams be ready for all of the other great things that are coming. There are going to be some really incredible announcements, and this is just speaking to 2018. I will get to 2019 in a minute, but just speaking of 2018, you're going to see some incredible enhancements to the technology platform. I promise you, believe it or not, I know that some of you were probably here in April of 2017, and you're probably wondering just a little bit if we're right. But I will tell you, there's going to be some incredible technology advancements that are going to be made aware and public to you to help build your business. The holiday bundles, I had a meeting today, and afterwards I was chatting with the other national directors, and I've never seen holiday bundles quite like this one. Here's what I will tell this group and this group only. I hope you guys keep it here, but we're not done innovating. We are not done innovating in terms of product. There's going to be some exciting things coming in the month. Well, I won't even tell you which month, but there's some holiday bundles coming your way that are going to be really excited. And I will tell you that I think that it would be, it's going to pay huge dividends and be worth your time to make sure that you and your teams are prepared for this moment. And then, it takes us into, and in addition to that, we have a number of things that we're going to roll out to help the consultants. Like for instance, right now, we have this incredible enrollment incentive. Take advantage of things like this. Build those business partners. Focus on filling those funnels. Because I will tell you, as we prepare to go into Q1 2019, you will look back on this moment and say, I'm so grateful that I heard that message and actually took action. That I did what I needed to do to fill those funnels, to prepare my teams for the greatness that's about to happen. Q1 2019, in my 20 years, is without a doubt the most exciting 3-month period of time that I have personally had an opportunity to see that before blueprint of what it looks like. I am really excited about it. I think you need to be as well. And I think you're just going to have to take my word for it. I hope that you can feel or hear the energy that I have in my voice about 2019. On my way, I was at a meeting tonight. On my way home, I was on the phone with Buck McMurray, another national director, and I said, Buck, I really feel like we need to stand up on mountains, or we need to do calls like this every week and just yell, please be prepared, fill those funnels, push those business partners through the system, get them started the right way, get them started with Spark, get them graduated into that Lead the Way program, get them engaged, get them believers, because there's going to be some really incredible things that happen. And I would hate for any one of you that are on this call today to be thinking, in a few months from now, that you weren't quite ready or you weren't quite prepared for something that could be just absolutely incredible. So when we speak of fill those funnels, what are you doing for those things? And Emily just laid it out for us. So I'm not going to go through all of those things, but I do think that it's important to add just a couple of little things. I think it's super important to project out the right types of attitudes. There needs to be some serious energy here. We need to be projecting out those positive attitudes and bringing the energy that will attract people that want to be a part of our teams, that will want to be a part of who we are here at Rodan Fields and what it is that we represent. And one of the things that this team did really well tonight, you guys are the example. Every one of you that qualified for this, Emily Paulson and every other RFX, as I went through the list of names, I was so dang proud to see all of those names of people that I work with on a daily basis, a weekly basis, that are RFXers that are making incredible incomes, that find a way to get on lists like this. How important is that, to be the example? You've got to do the work. You've got to roll up your sleeves, and you got to get after it. And that's exactly who you guys are tonight, but pushing that down to the team, doing it again this month, doing it again next month. Pretty soon it will start to catch on. Pretty soon people will start to be a part of it. One of the things that I'm doing right now personally, I'm reading some books. I need some new ideas. I will tell you the 2 books that are sitting on my desk right now, and I'm going to give a shout out to my 2 leaders here in the West. This one's new, Listen Sister, and this one is like a must go to for me. get over your damn self. And Emily talked a little bit about that tonight. Sometimes you do. You got to get over your damn self, and you just got to go get after it. But new ideas, bringing new ideas into your life is a good thing. And I was going through this, just some ideas of how to fill the funnel to help with some coaching calls that I'm doing. And I'll tell you what, it's all in there. You know, you're going to find a lot of really great information there. Finally, don't wait for us. Don't wait for us to come out with something great. Don't wait for us to make these holiday bundle announcements or make new announcements at the More Tour, to come out with this technology. The idea behind all of this is that you're getting information right now. And you're going to have to take my word for it. I recognize that. But I will tell you this, and I hope that Emily will agree with me here. I've shared information with her team as well before the RFX thing happened, before some of the great moments have happened on her team, to prepare their team for some of the great moments. And they did exactly that, and they took advantage of it in a really big way. Nod your head if you agree, Emily. Yeah, I kind of put you on the spot and you had to. But and last but not least, just connect with your regional. And right now, Joe and Ricky, I have the most confidence in the world in them. I think they're phenomenal additions to the team. They're new. They're getting their feet wet with Rodan Fields. But the thing I love about them is they both dove in head first. And I love that. I love that they're giving that full effort. And they've got so much talent. Joe comes from a background of direct sales, really understands the business side of this. Ricky is just such a powerful presence, and so excited to have her part of the team. She's living up in the Northwest. Joe's down here in Utah, very centrally located for everything that we need. Their emails are rsalvage. If you could pop them in the comments, that would help me, Joe. But Joe Cardon or Jay Cardon and rsalvage at rodanandfields.com. Reach out to them. Let them know, hey, I was on the call tonight. I want to be a part of whatever's happening in the future. I want to make sure that I'm engaged. And they can give you some great ideas, and they can help you. They can provide some assistance where it might be needed. But I just want everybody on this call to know that you are in the absolute right spot at the absolute right moment. But it's up to you on what you're going to do with this. And I have people that are close to me in my life who are part of Rodan Fields as consultants. Like, I have a sister-in-law that joined 5 days before I did, and she's doing this business. And I kind of want to, sometimes I could physically like grab her by the shoulders and be like, come on, please, like see this and do this. But sometimes, you really got to understand why you're doing this. You got to understand, your purpose of everything that you're doing. And so I would just say, really dig deep tonight into exactly why it is you're doing this business. And go and grab some of that magic from August that you created for yourself and for your team to be a part of a call like tonight, and to have an opportunity to hear from somebody as smart and as intelligent and as business savvy as Emily Paulson, to be a part of this level 5 page that Joe's put together, Joe and Ricky have put together, and to be a part of this brand, Rodan Fields. It's an exciting time and an exciting moment, and I want you to get the very most that you can out of it. Bring some energy, and I will tell you, it will pay off huge dividends over the next 30 days or so. And you'll be excited, and you'll know, oh yeah, they were right. I remember they said this. And so with that, Joe, I'm going to kick it back over to you to close it out, or we can just end it right now too. I'm good with that. But
all right. Well, I just want to thank you, Sam and Emily. Both of you are fantastic. I'm getting messages rolling in, just being like, I'm shaking. This is amazing. I love this. So I'm hearing lots of amazing feedback. So thank you so much for jumping on and presenting for us tonight. I will tell you this much: keep your eyes peeled for those of you who are on the level 5 and above group. We will be running another call like this that you can earn by recruiting 2 or more people in the month of September. So keep those funnels filled, keep on rocking your businesses out, because this ain't over yet. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for jumping on with us tonight, and have an amazing evening. Thanks, everybody. Catch you later.
Thanks.